Hello, and welcome to another episode of AWS Tech Tales. I'm your host, Matt Burke.
And I am your co-host, Samara Reaño. Welcome back, everyone.
Everyone, welcome back. Is everyone today? Hello, Victor, Nassim.
Oh,
Hello.
hi. Thank
Welcome.
you for
Hi.
joining.
Tech Tales is the show where we talk about real life customer problems, what you can do to solve them. Often you'll find us troubleshooting alongside you in the chat. But today, we're going to be diving deep on your data, not your data specifically, but diving deep on what you can do with your data. Uh,
hmm
my lovely co-host Samara has prepared a ton of content for you guys. And starting this week, we are diving into what service, Samara?
we are doing Amazon Athena. I feel like it's one of those services that we have not yet reviewed too deeply here at AWS Tech Tales. Like we have kind of talked about it, and when we're talking about QuickSight and how you get your data and querying and that stuff, but we never actually gone through the building blocks of what makes Amazon Athena. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to discuss and kind of deep into the service, and then kind of get feedback from the audience. How many of you are using it? How many of you have heard about it but never really paid too much attention on what it does and the capabilities? So
And how
that's why I
many
thought
of
it would.
you hear Amazon Athena and you just think Greek mythology and you're not thinking about
Yes.
serverless querying or data pipelines?
Yeah, it takes you back to that high school English class, right? All right, cool. So, hello all, and thank you for joining. I hope that everyone finds it useful. And then, like all the time, if there is any questions or any clarifications that you need during the stream, feel free to post your questions and thoughts in the chat, or tell us if you're already using it in your everyday life. So, just share whatever you like. All right, Matt. I'm gonna start sharing my screen.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
do it. Let's dive into it. And folks, again, let us know what your comfort level with Amazon Athena is, because I'm curious. I use it a lot in my day to day, in
mhm,
fact,
mhm.
but I wouldn't say that I'm specifically an expert like Samara is.
Oh, oh, geez. Well, everyone, just before we get started, just wanted to point you all back to our community page for AWS Tech Tales. That's pretty much where we have all of the episodes, past episodes, and show notes. If there is any episode from this season that you might have missed and want to kind of catch up and look back on, this is the page where you will come in and kind of take a look. And then we also have the upcoming episodes where you can kind of see if you missed today's episode and then you want to come back and see what we're going to be talking about next week, that this is where you will get the content of exactly what we're going to be covering. So just kind of put it out there for those of you. Oh, hi
Um,
from Canada. Oh,
yeah,
hi.
I'm from Canada.
Thanks for
Did you
joining.
vote today? I hear there's an election going on.
That is correct. All right, so Amazon Athena. I don't want to spend too much time talking about exactly what it is and kind of going over the FAQs, but just kind of wanted to start here. If Matt or you can push out this specific link, so then it gives people more information into exactly what Amazon Athena does, how you can set it up, all those burning questions that you might have. We're gonna go through the process of the basics of setting it up and actually conducting queries today. So many of those questions maybe are going to be answered during my presentation today. All right. So without further ado,
Well, I
um,
guess one big question is like, why would I use this service at all? Like, what's the big? You don't have to tell me what it is, but why? What's the value add for me, as opposed to trying to do something in my own environment or doing something in my own office or data center?
well, what I would think it's a great day for you to query your data, specifically from your S3 bucket, without having to handle any infrastructure. As you all know, is serverless, so you pretty much can use it right on the spot. Like there is not a lot that goes into setting it up and being able to start querying right away. So I feel like it is a lot easier to handle than, like, let's say setting all that environment up, whether you're on premises or you're using the AWS. It's just a better way to just jump right in rather than spend so much time kind of setting up an environment.
If you got data and you want to analyze it, I think this is the place.
This is the place. Exactly. Okay.
Friendly Creative Seal, hello, welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, so I'm going to open my console.
So
And
where are we gonna start, Samara? Like,
yeah, so
what's the first thing that you're gonna dive into?
So right now, before we can even, start querying right away, we need to make sure that we load our data into our account. So how will you do that, right? So if you're using the AWS console, you will come here. And for this specific loading the data, I'm going to use the Cloud Shell. So as you can see here, once I'm in my console, I just click on the Cloud Shell. And
Who here loves Cloud Shell? Let us know in the comments. This is one of my favorite features. It was not around when I joined AWS, and I uh, love having it now. Everyone used to. I don't know, folks in the chat, if you had to terminal in using PuTTY, like that was the big thing on Windows.
Yes,
And
I
then
actually had to go through that as well when I first started. So I totally know what you're talking about.
yeah, and then having a Mac, you're like, oh, a terminal. Thank God, I can just AWS CLI and get right in. And now we don't have to worry about any of this stuff. I just love this feature. I don't know if folks in the chat agree.
Exactly, 100%. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, it's pretty much gonna use the Cloud Shell, like I said, and I'm going to load it by using this specifically. So I'm gonna go ahead and paste it. And what I like about this too is that it kind of gives you a warning, like, you sure you wanna run this query? And I'm gonna say, yes, go ahead and paste it. And then you're gonna see it starting to run.
So what are you doing with these commands? You're uploading data, but what are
So
you
pretty
uploading
much
it
I'm loading
to?
my data into an S3 bucket within my AWS account. That is
Okay,
specifically what I'm doing right
easy.
now. Yeah, super easy. So we're gonna wait. This doesn't take a lot. I mean, obviously it's depending on how much data you're loading. But for this specific use case, it shouldn't take too long. As we can see, it's already going. Yeah.
And folks, you could upload data through the console. You can upload data through a variety of different services.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the quick and easy way.
Okay, so as we see here, it's already done. So it's giving us the output of, okay, you're done with your data. Loading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize it here. And one way that you can make sure, like me, I like to make sure all the time that whatever I did is exactly what I wanted to do, that there was no mistakes made, human error, that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do to verify that all my data has been uploaded into S3, I'm going to go to S3. All right. I'm going to go to my Athena workshop bucket because that's the one that I created for this specific stream. I'm going to go to my basics, and then I'm going to see that I have my CSV and my Parquet folders within S3. So this is the data that I essentially just uploaded using the Cloud Shell. So we know that it's there, it's verified, cool.
Do you have
So
a
far,
preferred format? Do you like should we be doing Parquet or
so I feel that a lot of from conversations with customers, I feel like a lot of people like to do CSV, but when you're using Athena, it is preferable to use Parquet just because it's easier to query than it is with CSV. So it's kind of like your preference, but you can go either way.
and isn't it more cost efficient too with Parquet because it's a smaller
Yeah, it's
file?
a smaller data set that goes through because, as you all know, Athena, you pay us what it's being queried, the amount of data that is being queried. So obviously, if you want to cost optimize, that would be like your better option to do. Actually, that was a
So
great question, Matt. Look at you.
don't be doing select star on a terabyte bucket, please.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. I think that we touched upon that subject not too long ago, right? Or it's like we're querying like all of the data, and it was, yeah, no, don't do that. Okay, cool. So we have gotten to here. So now what we want to do is make sure that we are keeping all of the metrics of the queries that we are doing when we're using Amazon Athena. All right. So for that, I'm gonna go and then just search Athena in the console. I'm gonna go to it. And then you will go to the three little lines up here and then pretty much go to the work groups. So I want to actually go and work off the primary work group. As you can see, everything is kind of organized into different work groups. So today I'm going to focus on the primary. So I want to make sure that all of my metrics are good. So what I'm going to do is go to manage. And oh, sorry, I went to the wrong one. Where did I go?
You want to go tab into metrics?
No, not the metrics. Wait. Here. Yeah, query configuration. Settings optional, and then I want to make sure that publish my query metrics to AWS CloudWatch is checked. So then like that, I can always go back and look at my metrics in CloudWatch. So you always want to make sure that this is checked. And if by any, means it's not, just make sure that it is, and then just click on save the changes. So far, so good. I just want to make sure that when I come back, I'm able to tap into these metrics and that I actually have data to come back to. Does that make sense? Right now, we haven't queried anything, so we don't have any metrics, but I just want to make sure that they're here whenever I want to kind of come back and, work with it.
That makes sense to me. You want to look, we're all about operations here at Tech Tales. You want to make sure that you've got metrics you can monitor in case something goes wrong.
Exactly, 100%. Okay, so cool. We have gotten this far. So now we're going to make sure that we start creating some tables. So if there is any questions from the chat so far as to like what I have gotten through, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. So everybody's like, yes, Samara, move on.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, so now we'll go create some tables. So we'll go back to Athena. All right, and then we'll go to the query editor. And so as you can see, this is pretty much where you can come back and put your queries, and then you can start querying within your data right away. But first, I want to make sure that I create some tables. So I'll go here, and then what I'll do is that I'll go to here, and then we'll go to make sure that we have the AWS data catalog, and that I want to be able to look at my default database. However, whenever I drop down into the different databases that I can query, I only see the Redis. I don't have an option to see from any other one. So when you're seeing something like this, and then obviously that you know that there is another database that you can query, but it's not showing up, there is really something that you can make sure that you have by pretty much doing this. So give me a second to grab the query.
Now, do you need to set the query location for the bucket as well before you do that, or can you do that later?
Sorry, which one are you talking about?
Oh,
did I skip a step? Is that where you're trying to?
No, I didn't. I'm just asking because if you scroll up a little bit.
Oh, yes, scroll up. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, we definitely want to do that. Okay, so I know what you mean now. My bad. Okay.
It's just so ingrained to me that every time I launch Athena in a new account, I need to set up the bucket, and then I go, oh, I just wanted a query. Why are you making me do this?
Yeah, exactly. So you go here to edit settings, and then we're gonna pretty much look for the bucket that you want to pretty much use, right? So in here, I'm going to browse my S3 bucket, and then I'm gonna refer to this specific one where the data was loaded in the first step. So I'm going to create choose, and then everything else should be good. And then I'm going to save it. So that has been done. And actually, thank you, Matt, for telling me about that, because I had forgotten to do that specific step.
Yeah, so Swift Jaguar says, so Athena is what you use to query a database in whatever bucket in whatever database?
Well, if you have the information loaded within that S3, and then you actually have that connection there to query through the data. But I think I will have to unbox that more.
And pull it. I think with Swift Jaguars, I mean, I would say that if you've got a file, right, and it's in a structured format, we can just put that in an S3 bucket and we can query it. We don't need to load it into a database. We don't need to worry about setting up infrastructure to query it. So like if you've got like, I don't know, like let's say like a list of names and addresses, that's a structured bit of CSV file. You could then query just using SQL language. So if you wanted to get a list of everyone's names, you wanted to get a list of where accounts of where people were, you can structure it accordingly.
Yep. All right. So, okay. Sorry, I am switching through stuff, so I just want to make sure you guys have the right view. Okay, so then now I'm gonna go back to my Amazon Athena, go back to my query editor, and then that has been done. So, oh, why is this still showing up? Just want to make sure I'm in the primary edit settings. Oh, that didn't save. That's weird.
Didn't like you.
It did not. Okay, choose. It's loaded. Okay, save. All right, editor. All right, so now we're good. Okay, cool. So now what I want to do is I'm going to start, I want to start querying how, I want to create a table, sorry. So I want to get my data source will be from the AWS data catalog. However, I want to go from the default database, but I only see Redis. So what I'm going to quickly do is show the databases that I have to query. So I'm going to paste this in the query and then run it. And then once it's completed, we have two databases that we can that we have. So we have the default, which is the one that I was looking for, and then we have the Redis, which was here. After I have
So
done
really quickly,
this,
Zamara, Swift Jaguar responded, so say I download a CSV file, throw it in a folder, have it in an S3 bucket. With Athena, it can just straight up pull the info that I need.
yes, from that S3 bucket, and if you're pointing it to that specific S3 bucket, you should be able to query from that. However, like Matt said, just make sure that you're not pointing it to like this massive S3 bucket and you're just querying through like the whole entire set of data rather than like a specific folder.
And what Samara is about to do is show you how to set it up so that Athena is aware that you've got data in a bucket that you want to query. Because right now, when you just load it fresh, it's going to go, oh, hey, I'm Athena, and not know anything about where your data
not know
is.
anything. So this is pretty much all of like the setup that you will have to do. That's why we're calling it the Amazon Athena Basics, because this is really just showing you of the steps that you will have to do to start querying that data. So it's not so straightforward as like come into Athena and then start querying, because Athena would not know what to query. So if that makes sense. All right. I see another one that is related to cost. What S3 data formats offer the lowest cost? I think that this is what we already covered. We said that the Parquet one would be probably lowest just because of how the data is structured. So we kind of said that that's kind of what it's recommended, but you can find all of this information within the Athena FAQs that were shared at the beginning of the show. I believe it's this one right here. Yep. Cool. All right. So after it completed and then it found these two databases, I'm going to go ahead and hit refresh. Right. And then now we see automatically we're populating the default as well as the Redis. So I want to go ahead and use the default. All right. And so then now what I want to do is I'm going to go and start creating some tables. Another really cool thing is that you can have your safe queries here. So that's another link, Matt, that I wanted to share, which I think that is already there. Yeah, cool. So then just kind of go through the process of how you can do this and what the limitations are for whenever you're saving those queries. So for the sake of this specific exercise of creating tables, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start creating these tables from my primary work group. So I want to go to my save queries, and I'm going to do an Athena create customer CSV. So I'm going to click on it, and then as you can see, it automatically loads into my query editor. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run it. So, I mean, like that took 390 milliseconds to run. So the query was successful. And as you can see, we already have our first table, and it will be under the tables area of the data. So pretty quick, pretty straightforward. I hope that I am not confusing anybody with the process so far.
Well, what I want to say, I think for Swift Jaguar's benefit is like what we're doing in this create command that Tamara's got on the screen is we're just saying, what's the column in the file, and then what are we defining it as, whether it's a string, whether it's an integer, whether it's a number, and that way we know like what is queryable. And so what you see now is on the left side, now we've got that CSV file as a table there. And all of these things, if you hit the plus, Mara, all of these things that we just defined, no, on the table itself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Like I want to click it. There, you see all
You
those
have
things that we just
Yep.
built.
Yep, exactly.
So hopefully that's helpful. And then this is all you would need to get started from this comment here where you're saying is I just throw a CSV file in that bucket, and this is the one step you need.
Yep, but you just have to have that bucket to point to. And either if you're trying to query something when you don't have, let's say, you're not pointing it to anything you're not pointing it to an S3 bucket, it will let you know, similar to what we had at the beginning, right? So you need to first kind of set up that step.
Angela says, why on Twitch? We're here because we want to talk to you. Any questions that you have, anything you want to say, that's what we're here for.
All right. Okay. So now I'm going to create another table, which will be my sales CSV. So I'll go to my create sales CSV, and that will also get loaded. And then I will run that one again as well, similar to the previous one. And as you can see, it's already successful. And then like Matt went over, you have it right under tables. You can pretty much do the drop down, and then you see the different information that is within that specific table. All right. Now I want to create a customer Spark table. So I'm going to go to the Save Queries, and then I'm going to go to create customer Spark, and then I'm going to run it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot to highlight it. So in this one, for example, I'm only going to highlight the create all the way to line 23, because first I just want to make sure that I am creating the table. So this is the part of the format of the query that I want to run. So I'll run it again. And then as you can see, that's successfully completed. Now I'm gonna do the line 25, and then I'm gonna run it again.
Oh, I didn't know if you just highlight something, you just
I know that's so the first time whenever I was first diving into Athena and then just kind of learning about it, I thought that was like so cool that you didn't even have to go part by part by part. You can literally just highlight certain parts of the query, and then you actually can query without looking at the other lines. I thought that was really cool too.
Really quick, I have from the comments, Angela's asking how do they get an Amazon job? So I would say if you go to amazon.jobs, we have all our listings there. So take a look, throw in your resume, see what happens.
Yep. Okay. So one of the things too that you can do is show the different partitions within your table. So as you can see, if I were run just that specific line for 27, it will show you the different partitions you have. So you have 3 different ones for 3, and they're divided into country for the sake of this example. So that's also something cool that you can do within it, just seeing the partitioning that you have created within your own data. All right. Do we have any other questions or things before I continue creating tables?
No, keep going.
Okay.
I want you to get to the complicated stuff.
Oh, geez. He's waiting. He wants me to break something. Okay.
You can't break it. It's fine.
Okay. So parquet right here. And then what I'm going to do here is also do the same thing. I just want to highlight first the data. And then I'm going to run it. And then, as you can see, we'll complete. Just going through the same motions. All right. And then I'm going to show the partitions within this specific one. So we have a lot more partitions in this one, as you can see, because it breaks down through the years and months that it's showing within the data itself.
So how is it pulling is it making these partitions itself, or is it embedded in the file?
So what you're doing right now is partitioning the data, because like I said before, and I mean, you kind of touch upon this yourself as well, is that you don't want to just all the time just go back and kind of query everything within the data set. You want to make sure that you're only querying whatever it is that you need. This is pretty big when you're, conscious about cost optimization and making sure that you're being smart about what you're querying rather than querying the whole entire thing. If you don't need to, it will be very useful for you to use partitions rather than just query out your data.
That makes sense.
Okay. So we have done this. And then now one thing that I want to do here is we wanna wait, I lost my okay. So one thing that I want to kind of quickly go over too while we're doing this is, as you can see, I have maintained everything of the queries that I have run. Like I can pretty much go to each one of them at any time and then just kind of go through them to see what I have queried before. But the really cool thing about this too is even if you close them out, you can always go back to save queries, and then you can recent queries, and it can tell you exactly which queries you have run. And it can tell you the status, like if anything failed, it will tell you that it failed. And if you completed, it's completed, like we did all of this. But then like the really cool thing is that you can compare the run times. Some of you were asking about what would be better to query, which is CSV and Parquet. You can pretty much see the performance whenever you're querying between the two here, and then just kind of get that data to kind of make better decisions of whenever you want to decide which one to go for. So I think it's a pretty cool tool to look back into as well. So maybe something that to keep in mind as you make those decisions going forward.
So I have our friends are networking with each other in the chat. And I just wanted to shout out for Swift Jaguar saying cost management is the hardest thing. I swear I get charged for things I don't know about, even when I look in Cost Explorer. So I will plug our friends at Keys to AWS Optimization, which let me find when they air these days.
Yeah, that would be a cool, yeah. Because they talk a lot about that. So
yeah, my friends Steph and Alex and Savannah, I have to find where they are. So while you keep talking, I will tell you exactly when they air. Okay. I should know off the top of my head, but we change all the time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now what I want to do is kind of go through how you can create tables with Glue. So we will use the Glue crawlers to crawl the data set for sales and create a new table in our AWS Glue data catalog. And then we will use Athena to query the table. So this is something that actually a lot of customers, at least in my experience, kind of like to ask questions about, because whenever they kind of want to venture into that, it's like, oh, how can I do that? So I thought that it would be a really cool thing to showcase here. If you're already working with Glue and Athena, let us know, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Let us know.
Tell me, what are you doing? How was your experience? Sorry, it's the teacher in me. I just love learning from my students. Okay, cool. So
but you know, it's funny. I always forget you have the feedback button at the very bottom of your screen. So if you always need to give us feedback here at Amazon, you can just click that button. You see where I wish I could just point on you. I'm like pointing at the screen.
Are you talking about my
your
right
screen
here?
At the
Is this the one that you're talking about? Oh yeah, of course. You can do the feedback. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can do that. Feedback and let them know that Samara was asking you what you're doing with your Glue. Okay, cool. All right. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Glue, and we'll go to AWS Glue. And then we're going to create, we go to crawlers, and we will create a crawler.
So why are we doing this?
We want to create a table using AWS Glue, and then we're gonna pretty much use Amazon Athena to query from the table that we create in AWS Glue.
So what's the advantage of doing it from Glue as opposed to doing what you just did before?
So pretty much, I think that how we use Glue is to pretty much integrate the data and kind of make it into something that you can do more efficiently. So I just feel that it would just be a better way to kind of categorize your data and be able to connect it back to your Glue table and then be able to directly go ahead and query from it.
And if your data is changing and updating, you're probably going to want to set up a crawler. Like if there's new things that are getting updated in there, it might make sense to do it this way.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to call it Athena table, Athena cells. And I just creating a table, and then this is optional. You could put whatever you like. So I'll click on next, and then it asks you the data source confirmation. Is your data already mapped to Glue tables? I'm going to put not yet. Leave it at not yet since it's already populated in there. Then I'm going to click next. Oh, data configurations. Do the data source is going to be S3. The S3 I'm going to put is from this account, and then I'm going to browse S3. I'm going to do the Athena workshop, choose it, okay, yep, it's good. And then I'm going to leave it at crawl all the subfolders. And then I'm going to add data source. And then I'm going to click on the next button. Then I'm going to create a new one and then call it sales crawler, create. Oh, did I do something wrong? See, you wanted me to break stuff. I'm already breaking stuff.
So Jaguar is asking if you can connect with us on LinkedIn. Yeah, we have our LinkedIn pages on the community AWS page. If you ever want to say hi, we're around.
There you go. Why is it not letting me create?
There are problems with the supplied replacements. Was there like a special character where there shouldn't be?
Yeah, I'm trying to look at what's going on. Create the role. I'll delete it all.
Oh, I think you didn't delete it all.
Ugh, okay.
Why don't you see if one of them might have created though? Go back, hit cancel.
Yeah.
Refresh. Oh no, the refresh the next to the drop down.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right, now try it. Let's see. No. If you click the drop down, you might have created something already. No. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not. Let's see.
So Chat was asking, are there roles where I find this funny that you're asking this while we're trying to make an IAM role. The roles where it's mostly focused on IAM or just security. Yeah, we have a ton of specialists within AWS. We have a whole specialist organization. So if you like a particular topic, you're really well versed in one specific area, there's a place for you.
Okay, let's try again.
Samara and I are generalists though, so
yes,
we are dangerous at almost everything and know almost nothing deeply. I kid, but
okay. Browse. I'm doing the whole thing again because it seems that maybe I probably did something. Crawl lots of folders, everything is good there. So the data source is there. Click next. I'm going to create an IAM role.
It doesn't, wait, if you do that, it doesn't actually delete that part.
You know what? Let's do that. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not doing that.
There are problems with the supplied replacements. Hold on. Weird.
Yeah, I am trying to figure out where can it be. It's nothing standing out to you, right?
No, nothing's standing out to me, and I just want to do a quick cursory search.
Okay, so
I didn't come up with anything.
Color.
You are in the ops role instead of the participant role.
Okay.
Like maybe it has something to do with it.
Try again. Okay, so all right. Not yet. Data sources. S3. So it's from this account. Browse. Okay.
I think you want basics.
And then the basics. Choose. Then a data source. Okay.
Angel's saying AI is alive,
It's
and
not
Amazon should
wanting to
invest
do
in
it,
AI.
Matt.
We have a lot of investments in AI. Actually,
Oh,
if you've
I
seen
don't hear
Nova
you.
Pro, you don't hear me? Is my mic off? Hold on. Everything? No, it should. Are you okay?
I'm not sure if you're speaking.
Yeah, no, I'm
Can't
here.
hear you, Matt.
We should. My thing should be okay. It might be your headphones. Yeah, everyone can hear us fine. This is just to make sure that chat knows that we're okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry, guys. I see the chat says that you can hear Matt. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I cannot hear Matt.
Did you mute yourself by mistake? So she can't hear what I'm saying, guys. This is now you're watching us troubleshoot in real time.
Oh. Okay. I am not sure if I'm having difficulties with you all. Matt?
Yeah, I'm here.
I think we're having technical difficulties, Matt.
Oh, why don't you hold on? So while that's going on, I can try to pull up your workshop. One sec. And we can put the technical difficulty music on, which sounds like this.
All right. I'm gonna continue with the while we sort out. Okay.
Chat's
refresh this page. Browse.
I think so, Chad. I think Samara's doing this without being able to hear me. So we're doing a fun experiment right now. So what? Yeah. So glue is crawling.
Oh.
Your S3.
Oh, now you're back.
I didn't do anything.
Okay, everybody can hear everyone fine now, right?
Everyone was hearing us the whole time.
I was just listening to myself. I could not hear anybody else. Okay, whatever it was, I'm glad it worked out. Okay. Okay, so
yeah, yes, Swift Jaguar. That is correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is the question?
Oh, I put it on screen.
Okay, got it. I had to go back and look at it. Okay, sorry. All right, add S3 as the data. Click next. I'm gonna create the role. And then this is the part that keeps giving me trouble. Yes, I am not sure what I am doing wrong here.
Samara, why don't you try with a different role? You're in the ops role instead of the participant role.
Oh, then that's maybe what's going on. Then give me a second.
Yeah. So Jagger wants to go, can we actually see the database? Like, I tend not to really know what a database is, especially through AWS. That's an interesting... So, the database isn't really... You have your file, it's in the bucket, and then we're crawling that file and putting it into a table or database in Athena. You can't really see it. I mean, you can see the structure of your data. That way you can develop the queries that you're going to use against it. But like, what does see it mean? I guess is interesting. Like, even if I have like an RDS database, I see it running in a list of databases that I have, but how do I see it? We're very comfortable with abstractions here when you can't go into a data center anymore and look at a rack.
All right, I am working on getting it done, so I'll start sharing my screen as soon as I get it up and running. Apologies for that.
Now I want to know how to see a database.
Now you want to go look at it?
I want to go look at it. Should I have GenAI make a picture of what it thinks a database looks like? Let's see. I'm gonna ask it. I want to generate an image. Okay, so I'm gonna generate a database that oh, it
Are
just
you sharing your screen, or you just...
No, I'm just thinking, but I can share
Okay.
my screen. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I think this is fun if folks we're talking about GenAI in the chat, so while you're figuring out your thing, I can show this. So this is Party Rock, folks. We've used this on the show before, but what I like about Party Rock is that now it's got the new Nova Pro shout out model. And then I typed in a database, and then it autofilled that tracks endangered species in a rush rainforest soft. So it's like auto prompt engineering itself. But let's do this. Let's just see what a database looks like, or what Nova thinks a database looks like. Because the database, I guess, is in a lush forest. See, okay, now it just gave me a rainforest. I just want a database. What happens if I just ask for a picture of a database? What's it gonna? Okay. See, it's even the AI thinks that it's just servers in a data center. How can I see the database? Anyway, Zamara, you ready?
Yeah, I am making sure that I'm getting this right. And so then I'll start. Apologies for that.
Yeah, Switchdriver said they've never heard of Party Rock. So yeah, you can do a lot. Party Rock is like our no code AI app developer. So you can create some apps, you can create some playlists, but now you can just do an image creation directly, which is a lot of fun. Show you okay? I'll prompt it. What an RDS database. Show me what an RDS database looks like. I think it's going to do the same thing. I don't think anybody knows what a database really looks like. See? That's what it looks like. Just a bunch of blinking lights in a data center somewhere. GM Llama says, if you are talking about browsing the schema, Athena lets you browse database table columns that you've either set up via stack mapping, via glue crawling. Like you can see the columns you can create. Yes, that's so true, which we'll show in a moment. Like you can see that. But I was just humoring Swift Jaguar with how can you see the data? You still have an IM role issues?
Yes.
Well, we can bring it on screen. It's okay to have issues. At least let folks know what you're working on.
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Hold on, where's my screen? Okay, cool. You. Thanks for. So I am doing. So I was in the ops role. I'm going to participant. I'm creating the role.
Oh, no. You're still in the ops role.
No, I know what you're talking about, but that's the only role that I have.
No, you should have participant.
Work. So
you should have a participant role.
Let me double check.
Hold on, I'll chat you.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. I'm opening it up now. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We love to see IM issues, especially if I want to get into it. Well, it's less an issue with IM itself and more like we might not have had permissions to do what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a permissions thing. Yeah. So I'm going to create my crawler. Athena sales.
I'll take off the technical difficulty music.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Eatman, what is this video about? We're doing a video on Amazon Athena, how you can set it up, how you can take files in S3 and query them using SQL. And we're building a glue crawler right now with our data. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a assume role, but we're gonna try this out. Let's see.
No.
Oh, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. I'm not sure why it's not working. This hasn't happened to me before. So.
Well, why don't we try it with an existing role?
Okay.
For now.
Yeah, let's
run it as the system role.
System, let's do systems. Okay. Okay. We'll do that and see if that works. Okay. We'll go next. Let us see if it does. We're gonna okay, so set out put schedule. We're gonna do the default one that we had before. And then we're going to do the table prefix, which is the optional.
This needs to be in S3. How you get it into S3 is a different story, but yeah, we would need it there to get it into Athena.
And then I'm going to click next. Everything should be good because this is just a create. So then I'll go ahead and create the crawler. Oh, it's screaming at me. Yep, it fails to create. Service is unable to assume provided role. So yeah, it will not let us go by without that specific role.
Well, can we, instead of doing the crawling, do you want to just query the table, since we only got a few minutes left?
I'm sorry, which one? The one that we already have? Is that the one that you're referring to through the S3 bucket?
Yeah.
Just the S3 bucket data?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Apologies for everyone. I'll work on fixing this and then we'll come back to it for sure next week. Sincere apologies. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. I actually don't know why you're running into that.
Okay, so I'll go back to Athena. Okay. And so yeah, but we pretty much cover what we have from like the bucket itself. Is there anything specific that you want to kind of look at from what we have from that S3 bucket that we created? I know that I kind of walked through the process of pretty much going over your recent queries and then just making sure that you kind of know the start times and like all of the data that you might want to be looking at whenever you want to go back into like the history of what you have query using Athena, then also the process of the save queries, as well as, there's a tab for settings, but we didn't go too much over that, but just kind of wanted to look at what exactly, if there is any questions within this specific information that we have gone through. I know that we had a lot of technical difficulties today, so I'm not sure what happened there. Well, I don't know if we have viewers from like the first season. Something similar happened to me in one of my episodes. Now I feel like it's just I'm dragging this.
No, why don't we show folks how to like query the data that we've got in there so far?
Okay, cool. All right, so let me go back to the editor. Let me close this stuff out. Close the query and then just start new. Okay, so we're back to one. Okay, so we have the show databases. All right, let me look at other queries that we can do in this. Okay. All right, so we'll go to save queries and we'll kind of create some views of things that we can look at. So let me go to Athena, create values, view, and then load that one. And then I'm gonna just do from here to here, and then, what did I do? We're in the right one. Save queries, primary, lifetime view. Okay.
Is it running?
Yeah, it's not going. All right, I think that with 1 minute left, we'll leave it at that. And then I'll work on fixing the IAM row, and then we can get farther next time. Apologies, everyone, from all the technical difficulties today, but I'll pretty much pick up where we left off today since we're out of time now. But thank you all for joining today, and I hope that cover some great things about Amazon Athena, and then we'll continue on next episode next week.
Yeah, so Jaguar says this is the first time finding the channel. Love it so far. Thank you for appreciation.
Oh, thank you.
And thanks everyone for helping in the chat. So look, we'll be back next week. We're going to continue this. We'll get some of these difficulties fixed out, and then we'll show, if you're interested in this topic, we are going to continue on and build out some more data querying. And what else have you got on the docket here? There's a lot of actually really interesting stuff that you've got. And then eventually we're going to get to your favorite service, I think, QuickSight, right? Tomorrow? Eventually we'll get to QuickSight. Well, okay. Well,
Thank you
thanks
all.
everybody. Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye bye. See y'all next week.